Hello everyone, I'm Dead Knight and this is In It to Win It. We are looking at Fractured and Alterac Valley, the new set coming out for Hearthstone. We're going through each class, talking about the direction the class is going and giving you my pick for the best, worst, and most interesting card. Don't forget to check all these videos out, like them, comment on them, subscribe to the channel, get updates about the decks that I'm hitting Legend with every season. And so let's get into it for Shaman. So Shaman did great with the new quest line, Command the Elements. So that quest line has been nerfed, as has some of the enablers for it, and so that leaves Shaman in not a super great place, but the potential for greatness is there. You know, they still have Elemental Shaman with Granite Forgeborn, which is still great even after the nerf. They still have Doomhammer, so there's always potential for some massive aggro decks. They still have even Evolve with Bogspine Knuckles right now. So, you know, what Shaman can do is pretty great. There's so many different directions you can take Shaman, and they got some general support, but mostly they didn't really get anything specific for any of these types of decks. We are seeing once again a return to freezing for Shaman, which was disastrous for them in Knights of the Frozen Throne, with a bunch of absolutely unplayable, terrible freeze cards. And here the cards standalone look much better than they did before, but the question is, will this matter enough? So when we look at I think the best card in the set it is going to be Sleetbreaker. So this is a 3/2 elemental for 2 mana that adds a Wind Chill to your hand. Now Wind Chill is also a card for Shaman in this set. It's a 1 mana spell, freeze a minion, draw a card. So that spell is really good. This card that creates the spell for you, you know, so that's just free value there, and that draws you a card. So you're looking at, you know, a 3/2 for 2 that's going to draw you a card and freeze a minion, and it's an elemental. So tons of synergies here. It's going to fit into those elemental decks because it's got a great aggressive stat line and is going to draw you cards and give you great tempo. So awesome for that. It's going to be awesome for slower control decks because, again, you're looking at wanting to get some early tempo, and giving you that card draw and the freeze to slow your opponent down is something that control really needs. So, you know, it's going to fit into just about any type of Shaman deck you're going to try to build. Obviously in Wild, this card is, you know, fits right into Shutterwalk Shaman with a great battle cry, great early game presence. You know, it really fits into every kind of Shaman deck you want to play. So I think this card is going to see tons of action, and just a great all-around card in design. As far as the worst card for me is also a freeze card, which is Cheaty Snobold. So at a 3/4 for 3, it's got a solid stat line, and its effect is that whenever an enemy minion is frozen, it deals 3 damage to that minion. So Shaman has a bunch of different ways to freeze minions, like Wind Chill, for example. But a lot of times when you're freezing these minions, that's enough. You know, you can deal with them in other ways. You can just let them sit frozen. You know, playing this guy is, you know, disable minions more card, and, you know, when you're not freezing minions, it's just doing nothing. So, you know, there aren't any things on the board in the early game that you can play this guy on curve and get the effect right away. So either you have to wait and not play it on curve, drop it and freeze a minion. So if you think of like turn 4, Cheaty Snowballed, Wind Chill. So that's probably your best case scenario, where for 4 mana and you get to play a 3/4 and destroy a minion. It doesn't. So at this point, it doesn't matter if your card freezes because you're just killing the minion. So if you're trying to kill minions, just play Perpetual Flame or play some other minion removal like Serpentine Portal, or play Stormstrike, or, you know, there's all these cards that are doing multiple things for you and removing minions that aren't just a 3/4 for 3. Also, there's no minion types. You don't get any elemental synergies or anything else. So uh, this card just, it's a little awkward. There's better stuff that you can be doing for 3 mana to control the board. If you're playing this and getting the full value out of the freeze, then you're not playing this on curve, and you could be playing something more efficient. So I don't like the card. I like what they're trying to do with it, give you some utility with freeze, but the freeze shaman cards that have done well in the past, like Invocation of Frost, are just good by themselves. Just like Windchill is good by itself, and just like Sleetbreaker is good by itself. This card needs other cards to be good. It needs more of them to be good, and it actually diminishes the value of those cards, in my opinion. So I don't like this guy. Now, as far as the most interesting card, for me, it is Snowfall Guardian. So this is a 5 mana minion. It's a 3/3. Freezes all other minions and then gets +1/+1 for each minion that's frozen. So what's great about this guy is, again, it's got such utility, offensive and defensive, just like Sleetbreaker. So, you know, if this is the only thing you have going for you in like a control deck, for example, you're looking at a Frost Nova that creates a giant minion for you at the same time. So that's really cool. Frost Nova was always getting action in control decks, and now you also just get a body on top of that, and a pretty big one. If you're running this in an aggro or a tempo deck, you get to play a big minion while you're pressuring your opponent with your other cards, and your opponent doesn't have any minions to respond to that. So it's a growing threat that also swings the board, and I just really love the design of this card. The only reason why for me it's not the best card in the set is because there are some situations where you wouldn't necessarily want to play this. Again, at the 5 slot, we have Doomhammer still. So, really aggressive decks probably aren't going to have a place for this. Whereas Sleetbreaker can pretty much go anywhere. But this guy is really good in a lot of different types of Shaman. I think it's a really cool design. What do you think of this design? What do you think of Shaman? Can freeze really work? Is this something that we're going to try again? Leave some respectful comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Happy Hanukkah, and tune in next time.